Put the kids to bed. Dad's home. We are the dWo podcast representing the dad world order. I am the pretty face padre, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. With me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. He is the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Maffey.
Oh, it didn't come on.
No horn today.
I don't. No horn. No horn.
No.
How dare you? There we go. All good to hear me, baby.
It was in my head. Dang it. He is the perpetual Meg Carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
All right, what up, y'all? I feel like I haven't seen you in a few days.
It's been a while.
Sorry, I was at Kiss.
Yeah. Well,
I saw you on Sunday.
that's fine. You just want to abandon us, and that's okay.
I had
we can.
sweet seats to Kiss. Okay.
We just did a really sweet interview without you. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Shout out Lindsay. Shout out Lindsay Snow. You're
Speaking
awesome.
of which, the person who introduced us to her.
Absolutely. As Mr. Magnificent said, we are the dWo podcast. We're back for another Revolver Rewind with the man who makes it all look awesome on the social medias, Mr. TussleMania. Sir, how the heck are you?
What up, boys? Back again.
Bro,
Buddy,
that
we're
doggo loves you.
It's my guy.
He fucking loves you, dog. He sat there for
hi,
a second,
Briscoe.
like, oh, yeah, that guy. That's your homie. What's your dog's name again?
That's Henzo.
Henzo? It's a dope
Briscoe
name.
boy. I got mine sitting right between my legs. He's like, what? What's going on?
Like, what I do? Old doggies. Mine ain't in here. I know better. He's like, what I do?
The
Him
best.
and his fucking beard, dude.
I know.
They're
Hello, Briscoe.
just starting to look alike.
Yeah, dude.
We are. Awesome.
Fuck,
Is he
Tussle
the
kind of
doggo?
resembles his doggo. I kind of
Is he
resemble
the
my
doggo?
beagle.
Hello, Briscoe.
I get it.
You just a puppy. Come on.
And just a boy.
I'm gonna have to just
Boy.
get like a little like sidecar seat to just set him right here or something.
So, Tussle, let's talk
Put him in the
Texas,
intro.
man. How was your trip?
Double Texas weekend, actually. Last weekend was the Texas show for Revolver Tales. And then this weekend was a little Mission Pro with Thunder Rosa. And she was actually in town. So for the past couple shows, she hasn't been able to be in town because of her obligations for TV, But this
Absolutely.
weekend, she actually had a college tour with her son. So since she had the weekend off, she was able to be at her show, which was fucking awesome. Always a
That's
very
awesome.
different vibe when she's there to
I bet.
kind of help organize. And
You look like you had a great time, man. I was sitting somewhere and I saw TussleMania started a live video, and I was like, "Oh, I'll tune in." And it was just you hanging out at some kind of restaurant or bar or something, and
bro,
dancing and singing. And I was just like, "Well, look at that dude living his best life."
that video blew up, dude. Because so Thunder invited over. She brought us to her favorite Mexican restaurant there, and then she invited over the mariachi band. And like right away, she knew like what song to tell them, and she told them the song. And then she's like, they start playing within like 10 seconds. She stands up and starts like belting, dude.
Yeah,
Because
Dude,
a lot of
she
people
can-
don't know.
Yeah,
She's a very, very accomplished singer, and
Yeah.
she's even recorded stuff professionally and has records out and stuff. So it's one of her passions that she truly loves. So put that video out. I think it just like automatically posts to your reels, and usually when I make a little live video, it doesn't like get a lot of traction. But like I woke up the next morning and it was like this video had a few thousand hits because people started fucking wanting to see Thunder singing live, baby.
Hell yeah, dude. She
Oh,
does. She's got some pipes on her, man.
kind
Talk
of blew my
about just-
mind. I had to be like, "Wait, is that Thunder?"
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Oh, I showed it to Emmy because obviously Emmy's storied past with Thunder Rosa, and
Yeah.
she just kind of looked at it like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, do you know who that is? She's like, no. I was like, it's Thunder Rosa. And she was like, what? Like, used to seeing her with the face paint on and whatnot, but
yeah, dude.
yeah, she
Thunder
thought that was really cool.
She might be like the coolest person to hang out with, wrestler wise, because her like gimmick and her in-ring stuff is, she leaves all that to the side. When you're hanging out with Thunder, you're just fucking kicking it, and it's so cool that it still blows my mind that she's such a fucking superstar, and she's like the realest motherfucker out there. She really is like such a real cool person.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. She's every interaction I've ever had with her has just made me that's why I'll always be an absolute super fan of hers. And it is my dream to one day have her on this show. Hopefully that'll happen one day.
Hint.
Well, we got to go through AEW for that. And those guys are really awesome at messaging back. But she's great, man. The first show I ever took Emmy to was one that she was at, and she made that an experience she would never forget. And that, Cephas asks people all the time, what's the moment that got you into wrestling? And I guarantee you that moment right there is going to be a core memory for her. Like, I remember that.
Yeah. She's a legend.
Heck yeah. And she's still working. So there's more to come.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of more to come, I know it's not Wrestler Revolver Rewind related, and we normally don't touch on news, but I think we'd be remiss if we don't mention the fact that this man announced that he is officially retiring and when his final match will be. That kind of threw me for a loop, man. Like I know he's old, he's 60 something, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just didn't see it ending.
Dude, it's wild to me. Like, I remember being a kid playing WCW versus the World and on PlayStation 1, and I was Sting every time. Like, that was my dude. And I just to think that he was a kid. I mean, that was, his prime was when I was watching when I was a kid, and hearing him retire, you just never think he's going to retire. He's just ageless.
I don't know, man. Surfer Sting. I got to enjoy Sting in like several decades now, and I know you guys do. But getting the '80s Sting with the Surfer Sting, and Saturday morning WCW was something special too. And it's unbelievable. The guy's still around and still doing the spots he's doing. And, I kind of feel like he's. I'm so glad he's got this AEW run. They kind of wiped that sour taste of that WWE run out of everybody's memory and go out on a high note. So good for him.
Go out on his terms for sure.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't know. At least we get that. I wonder who it's going to be. A lot of people are saying it should be Darby. I kind of like that. It's not a wrong match, but I'd really love to see a heel be in there. You know what I mean? I guess maybe they could turn Darby, but
I don't know. I feel like Darby's just too like on the nose almost.
Yeah.
Like, make it, not that it wouldn't be memorable, but I don't know. I just feel like there's something different they could do with that.
I feel like they could make somebody with that moment. You know
Ric
what I mean?
Come on, Rick. One last match.
One more.
Have 7 heart attacks during the match.
Bro, if that happens right here, we called it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we call it right here. And you know what? I would not be shocked to hear that was happening. Like, I really wouldn't. I mean, he just made a post today about wanting to die in the ring, and I'm like, okay, well.
Hopefully not, but
Yeah, keep posting in all caps and just sit over there. Well, Brian Hawkins, thanks, man.
Thank you.
You're the best. So let's talk about Texas Revolver Edition, Tales from the Ring. Buddy, I just rewatched it today when I got home from work, just to kind of refresh myself. And I just want to say this. I love the fact that when you guys go down there, you're kind of teaming up with Metroplex, with MPX. And I love the showcase matches. That's one of my favorite things about indie wrestling is watching a show and people making me a fan. you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you have your draws, the people you're tuning in to see, but then you get those little surprises of, oh, who's this guy? I'm gonna watch him from now on. Man, Exodus
Yes.
Prime, that dude is awesome. He cut that promo after that scramble match, and I'm just like, him versus Jake Chris, him versus Alex Shelley, like, let's go.
Yes.
I mean, all of them would be great.
He will have a title shot at the next Texas show as well. He called his shot,
Oh, yeah.
and I can confirm that he will be getting that. I can't say what title shot, but he will be getting a title
That's
shot.
sick, dude. I love that. Absolutely love. I mean, he was just on it was either Rampage or Collision. He was teaming with Brian Keith, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
You need to reach out, see if we can catch him for an interview. I've been enjoying his work too, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, man. He's a standout. He definitely he's making a name for himself.
I think we talked about him before in our show.
Yeah, the last
we talked
Texas
about
show.
On the last Texas show, because he had that match with Rich Swann that we were like, holy shit.
Opened up, and I was just like, who is this guy? Like,
I'm still thinking about that match, dude. That match was really good.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the opener on this one though, Alan Angels and Dante Leon. Holy shit.
I'm jealous.
I love me some Dante Leon. He was at that first Warrior show that I brought Emmy to. He was in that. I think he was teaming with Arez. And the Rascals were actually in that one too. It was a 3-way tag team match. And he was the guy I didn't know in the match. And at the end of the match, I was like, yeah, that he was one of my favorites. And it's just, you know, he's kind of a somewhat unassuming, but man, you watch him work and holy shit, dude can go.
He will quickly make you a fan, that guy. Very, very talented, very innovative. He strives to be different, have a different style, and he doesn't want to just go out there and do the same 4 suplexes that everyone does. He's incredibly innovative to the point where he spent a long time refining his finisher. And I remember a few years ago, before he was actually using that finisher, he would release little videos of the progress of him learning how to do it and different variations. And then all of a sudden he started using it. And of course it became popular. And then of course, inevitably what always happens is someone went and used it on TV and now that person got credit for it. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but at least he knows.
I think we talked about it on the last rewind. I think Sammy mentioned something about it. It's almost they get like credit for it, but it's almost, we know he innovated it, and it's almost an homage to him. Like, oh, it was that cool that other people are trying it on national television. I wish he would get credit for it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's cool to see people, you know, out there trying that stuff, because that is not an easy move. I mean, I've seen 2 people do that move, 2, and it's just it's still mind blowing to me every time I see it. So
I hope he has a date sometime in the future. That'd be really cool. I'd like to see him here.
Yeah, I know that Sammy was really hyped on his match, and I mean, Alan Angels never disappoints. So match,
of course not.
We knew that match would be fireworks.
Someone like him, like how great he, you know, of a match he is when you see him in an atmosphere like that versus, you know, just getting to see him on TV and how muted and, you know.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing, is he was fairly muted in AEW except for the matches he had with Kenny Omega. They almost had a storyline where he had like 2 or 3 matches with Kenny Omega, and every one he took Kenny to his limit. And it was like, why is this, you know, lowly guy in the Dark Order like taking? I wish they would have ran with that, but he ended up, his contract came up and everything. But I hope if he ever does go back, that they continue that story, because I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was his first match in AEW, was against Kenny Omega.
Damn,
wild, man.
All right, we're gonna bring you on, man. You're gonna wrestle the #1 guy.
Yeah.
That says a lot. That really says a lot. And I have a feeling that Kenny had some input on that. You know, they're not going to book that and just, you know, not have his opinion on that. So I have a feeling Kenny probably handpicked him and said, hey, let me get let me get a little TV time with this guy and see what he can do. And then what do you know? A little shortly after that, he gets a contract, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he's a young guy too, isn't he? Like early
I would
mid
be
20s,
surprised
something.
I would be surprised if he's mid to late 20s.
Yeah,
he's
so he's got
fantastic.
plenty of career left, and I'm excited to see where that goes for sure.
He's
stacking
up wins. He's definitely been stacking up wins too, because if you remember the week before at Redemption, he actually won that scramble match. And then he ends up winning this match here. So the adopted Revolver son might be having a nice little trajectory to find his way to some gold maybe sometime soon.
Hey,
I love how consistently he's with us. He's usually at, we're able to have him at pretty much all 3 locations. So
yeah,
I would love to see more storylines going into Allen, and also having Dante back. Dante's a shoo-in for the Texas shows because he actually lives about 20 minutes from that venue.
Oh,
hell yeah.
So as long as he's not in Japan for Noah, I have a feeling that he'll be definitely at all those Texas shows. And then, just a matter of scheduling, because he is going back soon, back to Noah, and he does long stints there. So all just scheduling stuff.
I really hope, speaking of Noah, I hope that's a relationship that continues with Revolver. Bringing Noah guys over and Revolver guys, getting shots over there. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Ninja Mac has really good relationships there with all the management. They absolutely love him there. So he's a great liaison to be able to communicate back and forth. And the fact that they're already a few steps ahead of that with using people like Kaito is amazing, because then Ninja Mac can just further solidify those bonds and relationships and help those relationships. Actually, Ninja Mac yesterday, they revived the hardcore championship in Noah, and Ninja Mac had a match late last night. I'm going to have to see if I can find some results, or just see if I can find the match. But Ninja Mac actually was invited to be the inaugural participant. He had a mystery opponent, and the winner was going to be the revived hardcore champion, which is fucking awesome. I really hope that Ninja Mac is currently sitting with some gold right now. I might have to text him real quick, actually, and see if
what's hardcore like in Japan.
Hardcore Noah title. How cool is that?
Yeah, right. I mean,
so it was
apparently existed a
Masato Tanaka. Masato Tanaka. Tanaka won.
Womp.
Interesting.
Still cool.
We'll get him next time. Time, Ninja. Of course, Tanaka won. I just wonder how hardcore they actually got.
Yeah, it looks like there's a couple videos of it up. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, just because, I mean, Japanese hardcore, because, I mean, hell, the regular matches are brutal as is. I can imagine what a damn hardcore match is like.
Right.
Noah's not typically known for that kind of stuff, but we'll see, man. That's definitely a match that I'm excited to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Noah seems like it's got some swell around it too. I feel like with Kaito coming here, it definitely renewed interest in Noah for me. Not that I didn't have interest, but I just didn't make sure I got the results and check the matches I can. Now it's got me interested. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I think they wanted to do with that type of stuff. So it's working for me, which means it's probably working for a lot of other marks out there. So
absolutely.
And I hope it keeps
that
growing.
Product is great, man. Their production value and the pomp and circumstance they have at those events, it's like, it gives me real old school Pride like vibes.
Yeah.
Just their walkouts and the presentation of everything is just, it's really cool, man. It's really special. It's different even from New Japan and how they have their presentation. It's all both obviously very high production quality. Noah just does things a little bit different and a little bit more cinematic, to the point where, if you remember a couple years back, Noah used to have like a cinematic cam, and like in the middle of live events, they would switch over to a camera much like the style of my camera, and you would have, like, for a few moments, a cinematic view. with depth of
Oh, wow.
field and all crispiness and stuff. And then they would zap back to like the hard cam and you would see everything in focus. It was really fucking cool, man. And honestly, that was a little bit of the catalyst of me starting to do more video, because at that point, Low Key was hanging out with me a lot and he told me about that. So we went back and we would watch some of the matches, and he would specifically point out like, yo, look at like the cinematic parts. They would even have like a different framing for it, and it would say like cinematic shot or whatever. It was really, I've never seen anyone else do it. And then now Sammy has actually gone back and taken some of the TV footage of a match, and then at certain points he'll splice in my footage and then keep the exactly, and overlay, right, and keep the audio still going, so you're just getting an alternate view. It's very tedious on the editing side, but it's really, really cool and really rewarding to watch, especially for me, man. I really love that.
Yeah.
Hell
the
yeah.
first time I saw it, I popped for it. I was like, oh, TussleCam, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they put on another amazing event in Texas. Texas is going to have to happen for us next year. It can't happen the rest of the year, obviously. But do we have a title for the January 25th show in Dayton? Is there a name of that show yet, or is it just still Revolver unnamed?
For the January show, yeah, I think they were tossing around a couple names. I don't have a name yet for that.
I tried to look at it before we got in. There's nothing yet.
I know that honestly, a lot of times the name will come from like a lot of us being in the car at once. Yeah. Like I remember for Redemption and for Redacted was like a little inside joke that Matt Palmer and I would always say. And then Sammy like took that and actually used it. And then Redemption was just us in the car at one point figuring it out. Sammy obviously loves the inspiration from movies, pop culture, stuff like that. So
yeah. Absolutely.
Man, there were a couple names though that we were tossing around. I wish I fucking remembered them. If they
we're gonna have to start shooting you names that we think of.
Yeah,
Revolver, Card of 1,000 Corpses.
Dude, that'd be a good one.
Hey, that's a good one, dog. You know what I'm saying?
That actually is really good.
Card of 1,000 Corpses. There you go, Sammy. You can have it, dog.
So I gotta say this, and Sammy, if you hear this, please bring Vert Vixen back as much as you possibly can, because she's effing awesome. Like, had another great match with Killa Kate, and I know she's Defy Women's Champion, but man, if you can get her in, she is an absolute blast to watch.
Yeah, she was definitely a fan favorite there, being a Texas girl. And we had used her in the tournament the week before, and she had a great showing there. All I heard was positive feedback about Vert, and I'm pretty sure that we will see her back.
Hell yeah.
She also has a full-time job designing video games, so I think she, has the ability to be selective about her bookings and whatnot. So the fact that she, even takes bookings is really fucking cool. So I consider myself very lucky anytime I get to shoot with her and see her. Defy is an awesome promotion. I hope that relationship continues. And then I know she works at New Texas a lot. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her around more for sure. Very, very cool. Very cool moveset. Very cool gimmick. She's awesome.
She's living the gimmick.
Yeah,
she is.
Her turned down to 11. That's why she turned so many heads, man.
Yeah, that match was great too against Killa Kate. I believe Killa Kate was also a Texas native, so a little local hometown battle. But yeah, that match was great. For the Defy title, as you said, really cool finish too. Vert's got some cool moves. I like how she screams out like her moves, like she's a video game.
Yeah, I love it. Yes. It's so cool.
This is little extra special little somethings that separate from the pack.
Bro, I mean, she basically made a Street Fighter character into a wrestler.
Yeah.
Flying uppercut. Whatever. Whatever she says.
She's really good at finding me as well. We've shot a few times now, but she's always really good. She'll just happen to like take a bump and like roll perfectly to like the corner that I'm at, and like as she's coming up, just like beam the camera. I'm like, damn girl, fucking her awareness is great. And there's so many things that you're having to balance when you're in there. To be conscious of a fucking cameraman is just like another level of professionalism. So when I see that, it's really, really cool stuff. Like all those shots with Marina just beaming me during her submissions and stuff. That's just next level.
I was gonna say that's some Marina Shafir, Britt Baker shit right there. Like, Britt, I've noticed Britt's really good at that on television. She'll always find the cam that's on, and she just stare into it. That's always, like Mike said, just little things like that, man. It just elevates you.
Matters
that much more.
It does.
But another person I noticed that's been doing, you know, those kind of little things. Our boy Big Booty Brett. He, you know, excuse me, Big Booty Brent. I've noticed, like, when which I noticed it in this match, but I've noticed it in other matches too. He does that kind of MJF stuff where, like, he's, you know, somebody's putting a move on him, and you'll just hear him go, ah, or, you know, just make a little noise or something like that, and it just elevates it that much more. And I mean, I know Mike said that a million times. It's so awesome.
We just saw him Sunday.
Yeah, but I feel like something like that almost makes it more realistic, because like if someone's gonna like put you in like some kind of wrist lock or something like that, you're not just gonna be like, okay, and now I'm held.
Yeah,
no, you're gonna be like, ah, what?
Well, it's
and
like
that
this
feels more organic.
It's like that match we saw this weekend. Ed bit his foot, and he was like the whole rest of the match, he's like, that guy bit my foot. My foot hurts. He bit it. You know, he just kept working the fact that his foot was bit. And you know what I mean?
I have rabies now.
Yeah, he's like, I've got rabies now. He's a stray.
Yeah, that boy Brent, he's a student of the game, and he really, really takes this seriously, and it's something that he's loved like all his life. So that dude is just like kind of destined for greatness. I've fortunately gotten pretty close with Brent. We have a couple secret handshakes together. That's my dude right there. And I've told him several times, like, bro, just don't forget about me, bro. Don't be one of those guys that forgets about me.
I told Cephas that Sunday. I said, we're gonna see this guy on TV someday.
Oh yeah.
He popped for me and Mike in the crowd, and it made me so happy. He was going around doing the handshakes, and he saw us. He was like, "Oh, hi guys!"
Yes. Yeah, he's awesome. One of my favorite dudes when I go to Revolver shows. And those kids help every single show. Those dudes are still paying their dues, putting the ring up, taking it down, helping out wherever they can. They have earned their spot, and then when they get their moments to showcase, they've gotten themselves over. So that's a really cool formula when that all comes together. Dudes earn that spot, and then they get a little bit of that payoff is really cool to see.
Yeah, they make the most of their opportunities. That is for damn sure. You know, there's every Alpha Sig moment I've been there for has been memorable. And you know, that's what you got to do when you're trying to get yourself over. I mean, I remember when me and Mike first started going to Revolver, they were, you know, security guys. So
walking like, oh sheesh.
I saw them win the FGW Tag Team Championships, and that was like a 2-year-long story for them, because they broke a lot of their what's the word I'm looking for? They broke in there in a way, you know. They did a lot of Friday nights there, and to see them climb that mountain there and win that tag title, I still have a beer right here. Actually, so when they won that title, they were tossing beers out. And I made all 3 of them. There's my camera. I made them sign it. I was like, I'm never drinking this beer, because one day it's gonna be worth $1.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, they're cool.
But
people.
they had a great match at this one with the Rascals. Which the Rascals, I mean, they can't have a bad match. It feels like. So seeing those 4 in there together, man, was awesome. Very well done.
Yeah.
A lot of talent in the ring at once, right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anytime the Rascals are in anything, I'm down. You know what I mean? Like I remember I was showing one of my buddies the card for Redemption when you guys were coming up here, and I showed him the card and I showed him that the Rascals are facing the Death Dolls, and he was like, "Man, is that going to be worth a crap?" I was like, "Oh, you have no idea." Like,
Yeah.
Dude, that was Emmy literally just told me the other day that was her favorite match of that night. Like not so the women's show, it was Allison Kay versus Vert Vixen was her favorite. But
Really?
Redemption, she's I don't know, that's what the one she liked the most.
Liked, man.
But the one from Redemption she liked the most, she said, I like the slow motion match. That was funny.
She only
And
knew.
it was, man. It was awesome.
Oh man.
When they made her eat that thing and she didn't want to. I'm like, yeah, that was funny.
What thing, kid? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a yellow Starburst. Nobody wants to eat a yellow Starburst. Come on.
Yeah.
Whoa. What the fuck's wrong with yellow Starburst?
They're the least favorite of the
Disgusting.
pack. Yeah.
What do you mean they're the
The
least
black
favorite?
jelly bean of fucking
Disgusting.
Starburst, dude.
What's wrong with black jelly beans? Are you guys
Oh my
candy?
god.
You probably eat black licorice too, don't you?
You goddamn right.
Oh, you're weird.
You're fucking weird. Who the
All
fuck doesn't
right.
eat good candy?
My dad always
No.
did because I would get jelly beans and I had the
You-
black ones and be like, nope, and he'd eat every one of them some bitches.
Do you guys like circus peanuts?
No.
I fucking love those.
All right. Cephas is muted for a minute.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
talk on
So that's
other
long overdue.
things.
He lost me
Yeah,
at black licorice.
I have. been
Anyways,
doing-
next match.
Next match. Yeah. Let's my Natalie.
So this one I have listed as a MPX showcase match.
Yes.
With Purple Haze versus the Scorn.
Yeah,
What'd you think of them boys?
I like, dude, Purple Haze won me over. That's a fun team
Yeah,
to
right?
watch right there, man.
Yeah, what
Coming
a
out
cool
to fucking
walkout.
Hendrix, like that's all you. I was like, all right,
So,
I like these guys.
Just another
Both of
case
their
of, you know,
walkouts.
having some people you don't know and giving a chance to make fans of you, man. I've said it 1,000 times. Like that's what I love about indie wrestling, you know, and there's guys like that, you know, you have the headliners and they said it, you know, these are the guys that bring you back to the show because they make fans of you.
Yeah. The Scorn boys got themselves over the last Texas show.
Yes,
They just
did.
scream that they're scorny. And
Scorny,
that
yeah.
usually gets people kind of hyped.
He's
And then
so
Purple
scorny.
Haze just kind of had an aura about them. And
yeah.
I told them backstage because all four of those guys are very, very humble. And at the end of the night, Purple Haze was walking around, shaking everyone's hand, just thanking everyone. And he came to me and was like hyping me up about something. And I was like, dude, your match was great because it was basically like a battle of like the coolest fucking walkout. It was really, really great energy on those walkouts. Plus, they're a little more known there because they were the local MPX guys. So
Yeah.
they had really good reaction. And that match was like really action packed, very high level of athleticism, a lot of high flying and shit. Super cool match. And that was one that I wasn't familiar with Purple Haze. I had remembered the Scorn from the last show, but like you said, Purple Haze won me over, bro. I'm a fan.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things, or what I like in a tag team, are tag teams that actually do tag team moves. Like, I don't just want to see a guy come in and do a bunch of singles moves, do a bunch of like when you work in unison, like old school, you know, Hardys and Dudley, like all FTR, like those teams that do tag team moves, and that's what Purple Haze did. And I'm just, I love it so much. I mean, Rascals do it. You know, they got that combination, and you know, Motor City Machine Guns do it. All the greatest tag teams have that. So when I saw them doing that, I'm just like, yes, keep going, because I love seeing that in a tag team.
Yeah, and there's so much room for innovation when you think about that. A tag team has just like exponentially more options for how they're manipulating their body. And we know that the more exaggerated a movement is, like, a 450 splash hurts more than a regular splash, obviously, right?
Duh.
So, So shit like that. If we can make stuff look more intricate and elaborate and fucking rad looking, then hell yeah, dude. And that's what I liked about them. Like you said, they had a lot of cool innovation in their tag team stuff, and they were going back and forth because Scorn is like that as well. So it's tag team stuff versus tag team stuff. Very, very enjoyable match.
Yes, absolutely. It was as soon as I saw the showcase match, and that's the other thing. So the last one we saw, or the first Texas Toasted, we saw the showcase match with Exodus Prime getting a match against Rich Swann.
Yeah,
Exodus Prime won me over in that. So now I'm watching this a second time, and I'm like, oh, I'm not tuning out for this. The last time this guy made a fan of me, I have to watch this, and you know,
yeah,
that was my
it sets that precedent.
That's cool,
and that's gonna work for Purple Haze in the future for sure.
Great minds, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool match for sure.
Speaking of great minds, me and me, we talked about it a minute earlier, but we got to at least mention it. Me and Mike went to a pretty decent show this weekend, put on by just some local guys and the NWF. It was like a mixture of some of these indie guys and the NWF guys. So it was kind of, like Mike said, it was kind of weird in a way because it was like NWF mixed with not the Rascals, but like the Rascals of the you know what I mean? Like
it was actually a benefit show. And I think that's why all those worlds collided. It was a benefit show for a guy named Seth Burns, who I'm not familiar with. But, you know, in his honor, they put on a badass show.
Which the main event is why I bring it up, because it was when he told me that was the main event, I was like, damn, that's crazy. It was Larry D versus Jake Christ. And it was interesting because it was supposed to be a family friendly show. So we had to do a Jake effing Chris chant. Oh man, it was fun though, man. Jake and Larry put on a hell of a match for you know, two guys that don't work together too often, you know, so it was pretty neat.
The good old backslide, baby.
Yeah,
we called it early on,
bro.
Still beat him with the backslide.
Yes!
Oh yeah,
bro. I don't know how the fuck
Jake
has got a backslide over for me, but at this point, if he starts putting them arms on, I'm like, yes,
yeah.
He starts teasing earlier in the match now. And
Get the move over. Oh. Nobody does a backslide quite like Jake Christ.
Yes.
No, and it's crazy, man, because that's like getting the fucking schoolboy over. Like, I don't know how he's doing this, but I like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really all you got to do is like I said before, kind of, you know, you just got to set that precedent. Like, okay, you do it once, it's like, okay, well, maybe that was just a fluke, you know, when somebody hits him with a schoolboy and pins him. But man, you do it 2 matches in a row, it's like, well, is this something? And then he just keeps doing it, and it's like you said, he gets them hooks in, and you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Dude, when he got him in for this Sunday, we were like, yes. And then when he pinned him, we both hopped up. Everyone else in the crowd just kind of like, oh, was that it?
We're like, we were the crowd that day.
Nobody else knows.
Yeah. We were definitely the crowd. A lot of the people there seemed to be maybe family of the guy that had passed. I didn't know the guy either, but there wasn't the hugest crowd there of pro wrestling fans. So it was definitely me and Mike heckling people all night. We yelled at Noah the entire time.
Yes.
He was wrestling. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What up, Slav?
What up, Slav? Slavy the Slav. Have you met that particular Slav, Tussle?
Hey.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's dude, if you need to check out Slavy, they have a page and it's just a sloth, and they've met everyone.
Everyone.
I mean everyone. Like every
a lot of revolver faces in there.
A lot of revolver faces. They go to Revolver every show, and it's a sloth, and they take pictures with wrestlers. And it's,
oh wow,
it's fantastic.
They had Cephas, and Cephas has dWo shirt on, and we got a picture with him, and Slavy was wearing the dWo beanie hat.
Yeah, we're talking like everyone, man. Orange Cassidy, Wardlow, freaking, I mean, everyone you could think of in Revolver, like all kinds of people have pictures with Slavy. You definitely need to get into that particular.
That's cool.
We need to get Slavy in for an interview.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know how that might take.
Man, that one might take a while.
That'd be a long night.
We'll ask him. We're gonna ask Slavy the thermostat question, and that'll be the whole show.
69.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, man, just I got to go back to the showcase thing real quick. I'd love.
I need to see that. I didn't mean to.
I need to. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that.
It's gonna be like the
picture.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, Slobby knocking out Larry D with cash flow.
I legit thought they were the same person for a short period of time.
I mean, they look very similar. That's true. All right. Well, I have the match card pulled up, but I think Tussle's got them in order. What do you got next on the docket there, Tuss?
Richie Swann and Laredo Kid.
Dude, this was fantastic.
It was actually supposed to be Ray Phoenix was supposed to be in there as well, but Phoenix had just gotten hurt in AEW, so he called up Sammy to tell him, and he even offered Sammy. He was like, "You want me to see if Pentagon will come in?" But it just didn't work out. That would have been fucking awesome, but
holy shit, that'd have been cool.
Yeah,
I would love to see I want to see those guys at an indie show.
Yes.
At least one time.
That was one. He was in Phoenix was in Iowa at one point, and that was one of those cards we were like, "Gee, dang it!"
Yeah, that was him versus
Zachy Wentz.
Speedball? Or no, Zach Wentz. That's right. Yeah, they opened the show. That was awesome.
Yeah, that match.
Yeah, Speedball was Kenta. I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Speedball, what a great match at Bound for Glory.
Holy shit, him and Ospreay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Holy shit. One of the best matches in Impact history. Period.
Like, how is Mike not signed to some like big name company?
I feel like it's
everything he does is just
he's under contract with Impact.
Signed with Impact. Signed with TNA.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's TNA now. TNA.
Yeah, TNA.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes. That made me so happy. I hope that gives the TNA roster the oomph they need to come out swinging, and then there's 3 big names. That's what I want.
And a 6-sided ring.
Bro, if they don't bring the 6-sided ring, they need it.
They said that most of the talent don't want it back.
Yeah, that they said. I've heard it was hard to work with.
Get a new one. Build a new one. There's a better way to, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's got to be more than one way to make a 6-sided ring. Okay?
Maybe setup.
Just
it was cool though.
Yeah.
And maybe even, you know what? I would even suffice if they did it like a pay-per-view, like WWE did with Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber for a while. Let's do a pay-per-view.
One 6-sided ring match.
The hexagon.
I mean, I feel like TNA's already got enough gimmick matches as it is.
Yeah.
Ultimate X and all that stuff, but yeah, they could do
I'll
it.
tell you what, I'm for sure buying Hard to Kill.
By the way, every time.
Anyway, back to Revolver. I don't mean to keep distracting us, but
yeah, let's try to connect some of these matches out here. Richie Swann and Laredo Kid was fucking awesome. Laredo Kid is I've heard from several dudes that Laredo Kid just fucking brings it, dog. Like, so homeboy's like in a fight when he gets in there, and you could see there were several strikes during that match that were like real fucking heavy. And then Richie stays with us at Palmer's house afterwards, so hearing a couple stories from him. So there was one point where Richie took a poison Rana, and I guess for the workers, they have an option as to like how much you're gonna really like fucking go for it, I guess. And so Richie was telling us, he was like, "Yo, Laredo Kid, he jumped up for that poison Rana," and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm going for it."
Yeah.
And if you watch that poison Rana back, that shit
it's gnarly.
It's
fucking gnarly. Yeah. Like I said, I just watched it before we got on here.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
God.
like respect though, man. That's like such respect that like this dude is like, it's a really fucking gnarly move to do, and you can kind of take it a few different ways, and like Swann to just be conscious right before that moment and be like, yeah, we're gonna fucking go.
All right, let's do this. Yep.
Yeah, they're just making each other look like $1 million, man. And that match was particularly hard hitting, and it looked great. Some of those like wheel kicks from Richie Swann, I mean, amazing, man, amazing. And you talk to Richie afterwards, and he's like, "Yeah, great match, loved it." Like, no one's ever complaining or bitching about that shit. That's I love that, dude. I love that.
He doesn't put on a bad match though.
No, he's so talented. I actually brought it up to him. I really wish that he still did that standing 450. And I even asked him, like, we were hanging out at Sammy's house, I guess, for the last Dayton show or something. And I was like, Swanee, I was like, for me, bro, like, that's just one move that I want to film, like, on my little bucket list. I want to get a Richie Swann standing 450, not fucking someone else doing it. I want the OG Richie Swann to do it. And I guess, like, I don't know, I guess something about it like sucks to do or whatever. Something about it. He just doesn't like doing it anymore. I just forgot what particularly it was. But I was like, dude, maybe just one more at some point. Like, I just give you the word ringside, like, bust it out, Swanee, just to get that one clip. Because remember, he'd like hype it up and he'd like start bouncing and shit and then get into it. Dude, I love that. He's so talented. Like, the control he has of his body in the air is very unique. And then his kicks are also
his kicks are great.
They're great.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple kicks in his match with Gringo at Redemption that were just like, God damn, dude. Like, that match was fantastic.
Barefoot, too. He was going at it speedball style for that match.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
and then we had before
and Richie Swann went over, baby. Richie Swann goes over. Can't
yeah, he did.
Saying that.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
And that's no shade at Laredo. I mean, that's one of those that they can fight, 10 times and they'll go back and forth, every other match.
It still look good in defeat, though.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's fantastic. A gift, too.
And they had a little handshake after, so respect was shown.
Respect.
Absolutely. Now we did have the epitome of big meaty men slapping meat.
That's for sure,
buddy.
Such a hot
Lance
smack.
Archer, Steve Macklin, and Brick Savage. I have no idea who Brick Savage was, but I do now.
You do now.
I bet you have. I bet you have seen a clip of Brick Savage, though. So Brick, I want to say maybe a year or so ago, a clip started circulating because he powerbombed this kid who was, his name's Chris Carter. He's like probably about my size. He powerbombed this dude maybe 15, 20 times. He just fucking
just kept doing it.
Oh, it's insane. And so that clip went viral, and that's kind of what put that dude's name on the map. So he became like kind of the powerbomb dude. Weirdly enough, right after that, I think is when Wardlow started doing his powerbomb symphony. Weird timing, but
that's weird.
Hey.
But that dude fucking he's a beast. And there was one particular moment that Sammy loved, because Macklin came into the ring with a trash can and he was attempting to use it as a weapon, and Brick just fucking double axe handled. and
trash can.
For Sammy to like isolate a very specific moment like that and be like, dude, I love when he double axe handled through that. That's like, that was me. That's a moment that Sammy will not soon forget. Dude, little things like that, bro. You have one opportunity, you go and do something like that. That guy just made an impression on Sammy. Sammy's now likely to book that guy for whatever in the future.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of amazing, our last interview, we definitely kind of got a few glimpses of some words from a Mr. Callahan, which was pretty cool,
Yeah.
Thank you. That was pretty neat, getting to ask him some questions like that. We're gonna wear him down. I'm telling you, man. Steve Urkel and Laura, dog. He's gonna, by the end of the show, he's gonna like us. And he's gonna come on the show.
Funny. But that's so his style. Because I told you that I was like trying to go down in the basement and be all quiet and shit, and he was like, "No, fucking stay next to me." So that's totally his style, to like very nonchalantly be like, "Oh no, it's no big deal," and then get like way more into it than you think he was gonna be. The fact that he was talking about fucking cereal for 15 minutes and shit, like, come on, bro.
Oh,
that's
speaking of that,
Sammy, man, we got the
that's some
graphics
real
ready.
Sammy,
All we need
yeah,
is
that's some
commitment
real
from
Sammy
Sammy.
Callahan shit right there, dude. That's authentic Sammy Callahan, you know? That's
what
pretty
made it
fucking
fun.
awesome. And then Jess
My
comes
buddy-
down, just amazing. See,
Yeah.
I want us to happen to have a podcast on a day that I'm staying with Thunder, because the same fucking thing would happen, bro. Thunder would come in and Thunder would hang out with us.
hey Sammy,
Sammy.
you want to talk about cereal?
Wearing
Got your
you
favorite one, bro.
down, Callahan.
Wearing you down, baby.
No, I would absolutely love that, Tuss, if that ever happened. And if that does happen, I really hope it's a day that I have Emmy, so she can just be like, "Hello." She'd be so nervous about it, but she'd see her and just be like, "Ah," and then run away. But yeah, dude, I that was such a fun show. I mean, every show we have with you is awesome, but just those little cameos and stuff just make it that much better. So it's an absolute blast. And thank you, Sammy and Jess, for dealing with us three. I know I was a little inebriated on the last show we did, so I got a little loud towards the end. But you know, oh hooray!
So Tussle, I don't know if we've told you, man, but at the end of the year, we haven't actually set the date we're going to do it yet. But at the end of the year, we're going to do a little Wrestle Talk episode with just us, and we're going to do what we call the Daddies, and we're going to give awards to the match of the year and so on and so forth and stuff like that. And I was thinking we could do an extra award as well for Tussle Shot of the Year. Get the coolest. I think the coolest moment that you shoot for the year. So I was compiling a list of some cool stuff. Is there some stuff that we may have missed this year that you shot that you're just like, man, that was a cool fucking shot, like that weren't from Revolver that we should maybe check out and make sure we see?
Man, off the top of my head, there were some really cool moments from the Hell of War match that were never released, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe we can go and dig into some of that with Swerve and Swan. There was some wild shit from that.
Yeah.
I guess we just hesitate to put out like a lot of the gory stuff just because sometimes it can fuck with our algorithms and stuff.
You're hard pressed to beat the shots of Jake and his moonsault off the ring apron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where you're almost directly underneath him and he's moonsaulting off that ring apron, man.
I think we even have another one that we didn't put out. There's another one that we never put out of that as well. Those are really cool just because Jake and I's connection is just unreal. So like I could be like on top of that dude shooting and he'd be like, "Oh, you're fine, bro. You're fine."
For me, it's between that and some Marina stuff.
Yeah.
Marina staring down your camera is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
I think my favorite shot from you, I don't know if it's this year or not, though. I can't remember if it was this year or last year. I think it was this year. But Macklin spearing Crash in the Tree of Woe.
Oh yeah,
that
was this year.
That was that was one of the first ones where I was like, "Damn, who shot this?"
That's a cool shot.
Definitely it really is, man. You see, like, both men's body, like you see the ripple go through Macklin's body backwards and the ripple go through Crash's belly, and it's just like perfect.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, so Macklin ended up winning that match. I'm really excited to see what happens with Red, man.
Yeah, Macklin and
it's a hell of a faction.
Yeah, very cool faction. I'm very excited to see what all comes from that. There's even like, oh man, there's so much like lore and like stuff that I can't even get into, but there's like one little thing that I heard that I can't get super into, but there were like apparently people, the guys that came out dressed in red.
Yeah.
Let's just say that not all of them were necessarily invited or supposed to be there. There were some people that were in that mix that I don't know. That's kind of all I can say about it. But I have a feeling like that stuff will come out eventually. But yeah, man, there's that, and man, like Sammy said, he hides all these little things in those promos and those little Easter eggs and stuff.
Mhm.
Don't think that he's not doing that shit right in front of your eyes live during those performances as well. So
All right.
I even went back into my footage to see if I could get certain stills of certain faces. Because, man,
Okay.
Now I'm going to have to go back and watch that whole thing again.
Yeah.
Dude, there's some
I'm going to be
cool
watching
shit
it
that's going
frame
on
by
I
there.
dig
frame.
through our footage.
Click.
Some
click.
multi-layered stuff, man.
That's
I
incredible.
love all
That's just genius, man. That's just layers of
It is.
genius.
It truly is. It truly is,
Onion.
man. Yeah. I love it all.
So kind of had another showcase match here tonight, sudden death scramble match, which Exodus Prime did end up winning. We kind of talked about that, but seeing old Damian Chambers down there in
Our
Texas,
boy.
I mean, he's
Our
boy,
all right.
Damien.
Damian
He's all
Chambers
right.
is okay.
He
I love
is
that
kind
thought
of
that you guys had. I
he's
guess
kind of all right. Yeah.
That's my guy. I love
He's
Damien.
all right, I guess. But
That
yeah,
match
I
was
mean, that was it was almost another showcase match because they had a lot of MPX guys in there, and yeah, really cool stuff, man.
I really like how they introed it because they made it a point to say that the scramble match is the match that made Revolver famous. And the match, the belt is now retired, but I guess they used to have some sort of scramble title.
They did. I was actually looking at it earlier on Revolver's page.
Yeah. And those were like some of their like wildest, like most talked about marquee matches. Like the announcer said, those were like the matches that made Revolver a name. And so to revive that and point at it like that was really cool. Kind of gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we see that title revived or something maybe at some point, because scrambles with the right people do have a very particular energy. And I would like to point out that maybe like 2 years ago, like kind of smack in the middle of pandemic era, GCW, when they were running shows very consistently, when not a lot of people were, one of their main things where they would usually open up with just a gangster scramble. And a lot of those guys that were like known for the scrambles were like Jordan Oliver, Gringo Loco, Ninja Mac, Dante Leone, guys
All
like
our
that.
favorites.
Yeah, dude, when you put that much creativity in those minds all together, and then throw in like a Shane Mercer so that he can go fucking grab someone and do a backflip, like they had a certain, there was
That
a
dude's
certain,
a fucking freak, by the way. Holy shit.
Shane Mercer, actually.
they had a certain magic, dude, that they could piece together for those scramble matches, and it hasn't really been replicated anywhere else since. And it's kind of died down because they don't really focus much on the scrambles much anymore. They kind of have a lot of singles and tag stuff now, but I would like to see a rejuvenation of the scramble scene coming back. Because like I said, if it's done with the right people, dude, I wanted to shout out Barrett Brown too. That dude's a fucking OG. And he's awesome. That super kick that he does alone is worth watching that match over again. He does this like from basically he's standing behind you and he still super kicks you in the face because he hooks it from the back and it still smacks you in the face. It is beautiful. And it always looks perfect because there's actually a little highlight reel of him doing like 15 of them in a row and they're all just fucking right on the money, dude.
That's
very
wild.
Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay does one similar, and then I've seen Ninja Mac do one very similar as well. But that's
some flexibility.
Yeah, man. It was, and you know, there were a lot of different styles in that match too. You know, like who was the other guy I noticed that Tatum Manning, kind of big guy in the match. He definitely has something there. And I think the more he hones that, he could be really awesome.
The heel guy. Pledge was in there too. Our boy,
good old Pledge.
Good old Pledge.
Pledge was getting after it.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name.
He's funny because a lot of the stuff he does is like directly molded like he's a creative character and he took The Rock's kick and Bret Hart's punch and this guy's this. So he was so hyped that night because he got to do an Undertaker dive. And if you watch the dive, he does it as if Undertaker invoked his soul and he dove exactly how the Undertaker dives. I mean, and that
Exactly.
to see how much joy he gets from stuff like that is kind of fucking awesome because the kid is so fucking pure.
I'm so glad you said that because I couldn't figure out what it was, but all the moves he was doing, I was like, I feel like I've seen that exact. Like I've seen, those moves before, but like I've seen it done like that. And he did a DDT, and I was like, dude, that's a Jake the Snake DDT all day long.
Bro, the kid is
just,
like
the best, the original.
Dude, he's big on mannerisms, and people like joke with him that he's like the very focused type of kid. And he hyper focuses and absolutely puts it into that shit. Bro, the kid he's a goof ass, but in like the most lovable, best way. And on my birthday, someone posted something and he sent me that post. Someone posted something saying happy birthday to me. And he sent me that post and he said, this is verbatim, bro. The first text said, bro, is it your birthday? And after sending me a thing that clearly says like happy birthday TussleMania, and that's like, all right, that's whatever. Then a minute later he sends, it's your birthday October 6th. And I was like, okay, he's doubling down, bro. So I'm like, yeah, dude, obviously. Yeah. And he goes, oh, bro, I was born on the same day. And I'm like, dude, that's you could have made this conversation a lot easier, but that's fucking hilarious. That's just how he is, That's just how he is.
So funny.
Like today?
And, dude, he's hilarious, bro. So when I saw him at the next show, I was like, yo, my birthday homie. Like, so now we got a little bit of a closer bond. Like, I'm very close with Brent, and Ben's right there, bro. He's a homie. He's the homie for sure.
Like Eric said, the first Revolver show we came to, they were there working security, and like immediately we walked in with our DW. Excuse me, we walked in with our DW shirts. I had the title over my shoulder, and they started with us right away. And I mean, just their energy is bar none like unique, man. It's just those three together. I mean, each individually has something to contribute, but I mean, their energy together is something special.
Yeah. It's cool to see like the phase that they're in. It's almost like a honeymoon phase because the love and the drive and the passion that those kids have, the willingness for opportunities, the fact that they, much like you guys, will drive from fucking Dayton to fucking Texas to go get a spot on a show. It's really cool to see that. And I just hope that lasts, because the moment that love dies or that starts to linger away is when the passion for the industry starts to dwindle. And then that's when like shitty stuff starts to happen. So it's really, really cool to see the happiness now, but like also in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck, like I was talking to my girl about this the other day, because people complain about like flying and shit, or people are like, oh fuck, I fucking had to fly all day and I'm exhausted. And I'm like, yo, like we're so fucking lucky that people are willing to fucking pay for my ass to fucking go to Texas for me to hold a fucking camera. Like, to be like bummed about that in any sort of way or complain that I had to fly all day is just like, that shit's so lame, dude. So I actively try to not do that anymore, because I would find myself like, oh, I'm fucking tired because I had poor baby had to fucking sit on a flight all day listening to fucking my AirPods and taking a nap. Like,
woe is me. Yeah,
so
man.
They have that
perspective,
Totally. And I know I'll get sick of travel and shit, whatever, and all that stuff, but like just being appreciative of all that. And like those kids are the epitome of appreciative. And bro, I've never heard those kids ask for fucking anything, dude. Never ask for anything. And they're at the point now where they're very comfortable. They're very comfortable with me. They're very comfortable with Sammy. So, you can start to talk to people a certain way, or be a little more presumptuous or be a little more comfortable and whatnot. And they don't do that. Those kids know their role and they maintain respect everywhere they go. And every time I've been in town with Sammy and we go to the school to train, all 3 of those fucking kids are there. Like first kids there, last kids to leave. At this point, they love it. They truly, truly love it. And that's the drive that's going to bring them to success for sure.
What is their intro music?
Asher
Roth. I love
Asher
college.
Roth. I love college.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a catchy little tune.
It is.
It is a good. It's great.
It's a banger.
It is great.
So, how many matches we got left to cover?
2. We kind of
3.
We already talked about Rascals and Alpha Sig.
Oh yeah, Rascals and Alpha.
Real quick, I just want to, because you guys often give me shit for Cephas. What life do you live? What I need to sit down and ask you about your history. You guys mentioned Shane Mercer. I just want to show you a little picture real quick. I wrestled him back in the day. That's me as Bobo the Clown.
Is that Bobo?
There's Ryan Michaels in the corner over there. Yeah, that was Elizabethtown, Kentucky. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I figured I'd show you that. You know,
who the fuck are you?
Did he moonsault and battery you? Did he moonsault and battery you?
He absolutely did the backflip Samoan thing on me. Yes.
Yeah, it's called the moon. He calls it moonsault and battery.
Oh, I didn't. I don't think he had that then. Yes, but he was trying that on us then. Yes, it's cool. Like when you brought that up, I was like, they don't even know. Like
they're gonna give me so much shit for this.
That guy, that dude is a fucking sweetheart, and I know on a couple occasions actually, we've called that dude at like loco wrestling. We've called that dude on like fucking 2 or 3 days notice, mega short notice, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm there. Like such a reliable guy. If the date's open, he'll fucking make it work, and he'll even fly across the country with his like fucking mace and shit. And we're like, dude, how did you fucking get here with that? And he's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just with a vape, and here you are with the damn medieval weapon.
Yeah, very, very nice guy. I like Shane Mercer. It's funny, every now and then videos go viral, but not under his own accord. Like someone will just start reposting shit and his shit will go viral. And it happened again last week. Someone made a highlight reel of him and it just said like crazy. It was basically just like, yo, crazy strong wrestler. And the shit went fucking bonkers viral. And then he finally reposted it like, yo, this has been making the rounds. Like, check it out. He's so funny, dude. Humble ass guy too. Very humble guy.
Yeah,
really cool.
Love
dude.
that. But another guy that seems to, he was on the last Texas show as well. We got JD Griffey and Ace Austin. This was amazing as well. Just I love JD Griffey's style. I really do.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Ace. Don't get me wrong, but JD Griffey's just got a fucking grittiness to him that I love.
Yeah, dude.
Just like an absolute fuck you attitude, and I love it.
Yeah, I have a particular like place in my heart for JD. That dude, like ever since day one, when I shot with him, he was just like the reaction that dude gave me the first time we shot together. He was legitimately like blown away, and he was like, "Bro, you're the absolute best." He's like, he literally was like, "How much do I have to pay you right now for this content?" So I told him a price. And he didn't have change. He fucking goes, here you go. Fucking keep the change. Literally paid me right there before we left the arena. So I don't get to shoot with him a ton, but every single time I shoot with that guy before I'm out of the arena, and every time it's more and more money for some reason. He's like, bro, he literally he sent me like basically $100 this last show. And it just like appeared on my phone one day, just boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And then he sends me a message, yo, bud, sent you some dough. Like, dude, such a fucking awesome guy, man. And really, really loves what he does and has such a unique style because he's so accomplished in MMA. to pull that style over successfully, there's only a few people that can do it, like the Matt Riddles and the Thatchers, and fucking JD Griffey's one of them, bro. He's absolutely stands toe to toe with any of those MMA style guys. He's fucking elite, dude. He really is.
Yeah. I would love to see him and Malachi Black. I feel like that'd be a really fun match to watch. But this one itself with Ace Austin was fantastic. But JD 0-2 in Texas though. Can't be happy.
Yeah. Nah. We're gonna have to see a little redemption from him.
It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, crazy matchups though too. Fucking Speedball and then Ace. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. They're putting him against the best of the best. That's for sure.
Yeah. And JD, we had JD at like an Iowa show once. He was in a scramble, I believe. One of the first. No, it might have even been Dayton actually. So I'd like to see him more consistently involved. Because the Texas, when we're in Texas, it's easy for us to get the Texas guys, but like, I definitely want to see the incorporation of them, like Palmer. Like fucking Palmer needs to be on every fucking Revolver show. I don't give a fuck.
Yes,
please.
I'm itching to talk about that match.
Can we get like a fucking hashtag fucking going? That's like something about Revolver for fucking
hashtag Palmer on everything.
Palmer, yeah, for all Revolver something. Yeah.
Palmer Revolver.
Hashtag Palmer Revolver. Oh shit.
Palmer,
we love you too, buddy.
Jakey.
What up, Jakey?
That's my guy right there. He's the
love you too, bro.
You the man. Love us some Jake Christ. Jake fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Jake fucking Christ.
It was Jake Evan Chris at the family.
We're all Christies here.
Christies?
We're all Christies.
It's a thing. Hashtag Christies.
Hashtag Christies. I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, shout out to you, Jake Chris. Love you, buddy. Hey, I popped him. Yes.
I popped myself. I mean, come on.
We got to talk about this match. Matthew Palmer. Speaking of Matthew Palmer, we have to talk about this match. Matthew Palmer and Abaddon in a Texas casket match. Holy shit.
Just
main event for a reason.
Yeah.
And by the way, to anyone who's like, oh, I can't afford Fight TV, this whole match is 100% for free on YouTube. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
It is fantastic.
Very cool match.
Oh my god.
Man. Amazing.
It's like a cinematic match, live action in front of you. I mean, it's just two unbelievable talents in the same ring at the same time. It's just
it's funny too because when you look at the card, we didn't have the world title there. So when you are breaking it down as to what could have been the main event or who should have been the main event, to me, it was quite obvious that this is the main event. Palmer, he was, I don't want to say adamant, but Palmer did not want to fucking be the main event. And I remember sitting in the car.
That just screams Palmer from what we know of him.
He's such a humble dude. He's such a humble guy. Yeah. But I remember sitting in the car with him and Sammy was off doing something. And I was like, bro, come on, dude. You know this is the main event. You know that. Put your humbleness aside, bro, and just take this one.
Who the hell wants to follow that?
And even logistically, if we have a casket match and then fucking all this chaos and shit, then we have to take a little break to clean shit up. So it just makes sense to make it the last match. So whatever, everything kind of lined up. He just didn't want to be the one to be like, I'm the main event, blah, blah, blah. And obviously we were thinking of it, but we don't necessarily break down the match order until we fucking get there. And there's different things you got to suss out and whatever. And then we never know, if people don't show up and what we got to reshuffle.
Yeah. Are they there on time? Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So at a certain point, we did fucking get to a point where he was like, all right, I guess if I have to be the main event. So that you're right, though. That's just so Palmer of him. But to the matches, like the story that match told was so fucking good. And there was already a little bit of buildup because everybody online said, "Oh, rest in peace, Palmer. Palmer's gonna die." All this shit. Everybody,
Bye.
everybody. Even the referees, people were coming up to the ring. The security was jumping up and shaking Palmer's hand in the beginning of the match, telling, wishing him goodbye and whatnot.
But man, you, buddy.
Dude.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, though. Palmer's so good at being that humble guy, and a lot of the matches I've seen him in are more comedic matches and stuff, that sometimes I forget how much of a effing athlete that dude is. Like, he had there were quite a few spots in that match where I was just like, God damn, like he did a running power slam and did the Randy Orton beating the mat, and I'm just like, dude, he is so multifaceted, and I love, shout out Matthew Palmer. We love you, dude.
Yeah, he was hyped on that power slam, but you're right. He did remind, even I had to be reminded, because there were a couple things that he did in the ring where I was like, hell yeah. Cause he always talks about him being old and shit. And I'm like, no, fuck that, bro. You're in better shape than fucking most of the motherfuckers out here.
Oh, dude, he takes that jacket off, and I'm like, oh god,
right? He's got
Speaking
fucking
of the devil, he's live on Twitch right now.
Hell yeah. Dude's got like better hair than everyone else out there. Like, looks like $1 million, can still fucking go when he needs to and wants to. And then he's out there doing like fucking springboard moonsaults and shit. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. He's incredibly athletic. And a match like that, where he's like highly motivated, there were like ideas being bounced and back and forth like weeks before that match took place. So the fact that there was time invested into making sure that that story was fleshed out was really, really awesome, because Abaddon and ever since, man, what a fucking cool person. Ever since, Abaddon has like reposted and relinked like a ton of our content and really, really helped bolster a lot of the numbers. So anything that we put out and Abaddon would repost it, it just was hyping up that match a lot.
Yeah.
That image of Abaddon with the middle fingers out of the casket is just lasting and iconic.
Oh man,
that whole ending sequence. I'm so glad Mike brought that up. That whole ending sequence was so like putting her in the casket. She's like, no, not happening. And then I wasn't ready for the skewers. That came. I was like, what the? But him doing it, and like as he's hitting it, she's going down, like driving a stake into a freaking vampire, man. It was so
brilliant,
perfectly done.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys said that, because that's exactly what they were going for. And the surprise of having skewers in a match like that, not a match like that, but a match with two athletes like that. The last thing people were expecting was fucking skewers. Like, obviously we're not going to have glass there. I'm probably not going to see light tubes in a match like that, but in the world of hardcore and what's possible there, no one saw skewers coming, dog. So that's,
I mean, Palmer did try to light people on fire at the last Iowa show, so I can't put it past it. No, I'm just kidding.
Wasn't that Dan?
But no, it was really like out of nowhere, and that shot of just as he's hitting it, she's going down with him.
Brilliant.
Was so perfect, and then she comes out of it after he wins, and she's got him hanging out of her head, and just it was so good.
Yeah,
like that's a way to end a show. Like that shot, everything was.
Yeah, I really hope that Abaddon comes back to Revolver.
Yes,
and
please.
From the feedback, I mean, what a rad fucking person, man. I had a ball in the back shooting with Abaddon, and just her like willingness, people, I've told you guys before, I don't really like bothering the more well-known people or the stars and whatnot. I have my homies there, and I'm super comfortable with all them. I'll ask Zach and Trey and all my dudes to shoot all day long. But when it comes to having me to ask like Lance Hoyt and Abaddon, I'm a little more hesitant. And Sammy Sammy wasn't bummed or anything, but at Redemption, backstage was so fucking crammed that I really didn't get many ID shots. So when Sammy was making the edit later, he's like, bro, where's all the ID shots? And I was like, dude, fucking the back was all crammed. I barely fucking had any time. There was no fucking space. Like a lot of new people that I just didn't ask. And he's like, bro, he's like, I love those shots, bro. They're so important. So I was like, oh man, like he didn't say it or anything, but I felt like I let dad down a little bit. So
disappointed dad.
Right. So in Texas,
I'm not mad, just disappointed.
In Texas, I was like, I'm gonna fucking get every single person here. So I got damn near everybody there except for Vert had to leave early, and then Laredo I'm pretty sure after Laredo's match, he just bounced. But fucking everybody else there, I got ID shots with them because if Sammy thinks those are important, I'm going to go out of my way to get them. So when I had to grab Abaddon, I remember seeing her when she first came in, and I just kind of let her know, like, hey, I do these shots later. If you wouldn't mind, I'll grab you later. So then I end up seeing her a little bit before her match, and she's going over something, but I approached and she was like, you ready? And I was like, yeah. So once I saw that she was a little bit into it, and then I showed her like one of the clips, and she was like, damn, like, you know what?
Okay, I'm on board now.
Know what to expect. Like I could be some random jabron, like, oh, let me get a quick shot of you, Abaddon. So sometimes I like to give them a little bit like, oh, here's a
preview of what you're getting. Yeah.
So she saw it and she was like, oh, damn. Okay. So then I was like, it's on now.
And that actually reminds me, you talking about JD Griffey just like giving you money and stuff, dude. Your stuff's worth it. Like
I know, but it's imposter syndrome, though, bro. It's imposter syndrome, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it is nice to hear reassurance and shit like that. Speaking of that, actually, I fucking wanted to make a little announcement. I actually just got linked up with Dreamwave Wrestling, so I'll be working with them.
Okay,
and that was through our mutual friend and my fucking bestie, Brittany Brooks.
Shout out to her.
The champion there.
Dreamwave Women's Champion.
Yep. I saw her this weekend at Mission, and we got to talk, and I think I had said something like, yo, Dreamwave's fucking sick, and she was like, I'm gonna get you there. And I swear to God, the next day, I end up talking to one of the guys, and he's like, yo, text me tomorrow, we'll set something up. Got the details through. Within like 2 days of her saying that, I ended up texting her like, yo, I'll see you at Dreamwave. So like, and the very first thing that he said was, dude, I'd love to work with you. Your work is phenomenal. So just to see stuff like that from cool places like that, and the fact that they do want to work with me, shit's amazing, dude. It really is validating and feels awesome, because I've told you guys a million times, I do this to make everyone look good. That's my only intention. I want wrestling to fucking look cool. So if I can contribute to that, dude, I'll do whatever I can, man. It's important.
I love that.
Doing a great job of that.
Heavy with you, man.
Great job.
Yeah, it's special, man. It's cool. It's cool shit, man.
Absolutely.
Well,
I still, to this day am so happy that, we got linked up, and our friendship has grown over the past year, because I can't imagine wanting to do anything else with my bros. So this is awesome.
Yeah, bro. And so many cool things have already come from it, and so many things are gonna continue to happen. Like it's just a matter of time, man. I actually just got a fucking offer the other day from a company that isn't even started yet. It'll be a company starting in mid 2024. They offered me a full blown, like, asked what I'd want as an annual salary. Like, there's so many shit. Yeah, it's kind of wild, man. Kind of fucking wild. So, like, as our individual identities grow, like, we just carry everything else with us. Like, you're damn right, I'm gonna carry you guys with me. If I have a spot there, and
don't get too big for us, dog.
Here, right?
Nah, Tuss will never leave us behind.
Don't get too big for us.
Anything I ever do, bro, it has to still maintain a certain level of being able to have independent stuff going on. And as of right now, the only place that would limit that is WWE. And of course, I would love to work for WWE, but just right now, that's just not something that I'm like super aspiring to achieve. Like solely because it would be abandoning a lot of the independent scene, and that would just hurt my heart. Obviously, if fucking Triple H texted me or called me right now and was like, "We need you," I'm fucking later, guys.
Fuck you guys,
motherfucker.
Not my
Triple H.
Daddy Trips just called.
I would do it. You would do it. We'd all do it.
There's just so many other cool things going on that I've told you guys before, I'd rather climb the ladder slowly, man. I don't want to just skyrocket to fucking somewhere. Like, I enjoy this process, and I really like the people that I work with and the people that I'm surrounded with. If I fucking couldn't work with Sammy tomorrow, like, I would lose a significant amount of joy in my job, and that matters at a certain point more than fucking financial gain and whatnot. So it all things that you have to factor in and think about and whatnot. But I've always been a real proponent of like the people that helped me on my climb. I look forward to fucking paying those people back, man. I really, really genuinely do. My girl was like talking to me about this the other day because I like had like a pair of shoes that I gave her, and I like make her shirts and shit. And she's like, "Man, you like give me a lot of stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't like really want anything back." I just genuinely get joy out of like giving shit to the homies and like spreading that positivity.
Absolutely.
Power of positivity.
Yeah, if I can fucking give someone a shirt and it's gonna make them happy, like, why not? That's
how we were at Redemption. Like, Shark Boy told us how cool our logo was and stuff, and he was like, "Dude, I love that Dad World Order." He was like, "You guys got shirts?" And we're like, "Yeah, here, take one."
Like, here you go.
That's so cool.
Shit's
you know,
great.
like hearing that feedback. Like, I'm sure you get that too. Like, hearing people saying, "I like what you're doing," is pretty cool. And it's not like we can make money off of this. It's I'm spreading something awesome, to the world.
Yeah, for a while, I guess I did have like a little bit of that mentality of like, oh, when people approach you like that, you can turn that into some sort of monetary gain, but it's not like that at all. Like, every person, every interaction you make, and you make that one fan. There's some dudes that I've met at Revolver that are like diehard fans of me now. They're probably fucking watching right now. And like, that's right. That's really, really cool. Like, I think about that. Even if you have like 20 dudes like that are like hardcore supporters of you, that can go a long way, man.
Dude. Yeah,
that really can, dude. To have that support is amazing. And I don't do a lot of advertising or like put that I'm selling this or I'm selling that, but every time I've offered anything for sale, there's a core little group of people that are just like, yeah, we're going to get that. And it's not even about like getting the product. I want to deliver a cool product that people value. But for the most part in wrestling, the supporters are buying shit to support. They're not buying shit because like, oh, I get a fucking cool shirt. Of course they're getting a cool shirt, but also they're like, I want to improve this person's livelihood in one way or another. So like, I'm making like a bunch of homemade like tie-dye shirts, and it's a fucking pain in the ass, dude. Like, it's a long process.
Yes, it is.
But dude, it's crazy, but it's really cool. It's really rewarding, and all of them are very unique. Every single one is a unique snowflake. So
I got it. Really, make a bunch of shirts with your logo on it. Find a kindergarten class that's doing like an elementary art. Yeah, and just have them, and then you have like one-offs, and then it's a collaboration with kids. It's a huge sell.
Then I got to pay the little kids
money in the bank.
So my girl and I actually been making like matching like sweater sets, hoodies, and like bottoms. Aww. And we probably have like 5 or 6 of them. I think I'll just do like a small, medium, large, just like basic sizes. And then that's it. Just release them like that. And so those will be coming out pretty soon. Maybe we'll do a little dWo version or something as well.
Hey, I'm down for that, man.
Hey, I'm down. I'm all about that logo.
Especially considering.
Well, that's the thing. Are we going to have to... You got an updated logo I saw on Instagram. Are you keeping this one or are you using both of them? How you?
Oh, dude, I have a lot. I have a lot of them, bro. I just switch them up all the time. That one's just one of my buddies just sent me one, so I started sending him money. He's actually gonna make a couple more for me. I just
Is that
like
with your actual
cycling.
likeness on it? Is that the
That
one with
one's
your actual likeness?
yeah,
Looks
yeah.
like
He
you,
made
right?
this
That's
one,
dope as fuck, dude.
and then he made like another one with
Yes.
like with like an actual tussle mask on it, and he's making 2 more right now. I don't want to just have like one logo. I like that like they're fucking there's all kinds of logos, bro. I love that shit. So like even when I sell them, I've made a couple. My dog's asleep on these shirts, but all of the ties that I've made, they all have a different logo. So some of them have this one.
Hell yeah.
My wife wants a TussleMania tie-dye hoodie.
Yeah,
Size
I
large.
think size large.
Tell me how much. Size large. Just tell me how much.
That is one. I do have one. I'll send you photos of it. Make sure
you,
she likes
you made a fan of my wife somehow. It's funny though. It's like funny seeing her journey, man, because she's never been a wrestling fan, and I've being married to me, she's been immersed, so it's seeing.
Yeah.
We talked about guys like Alpha Sig. We were talking about them earlier today, and she's like, "Oh, I love them boys." You know what I mean? But
that's what it is to go to wrestling.
I mean,
figure it out.
I've got to witness her like taking in indie wrestling, and
that's pretty cool.
And watch her becoming a fan. You know what I mean? That's so cool, man. It's exactly what we preach about all the time.
Before we get out of here, I don't know if you guys have talked about this already when I was having connection issues earlier, but January 25th, we're bringing Statman from B105 up with us. He's coming with us to the show.
We need you to tell Sammy for us about that.
Yeah, the radio host that talked about us on his show
is coming to January 25th, and he's sitting in one of our 4 spots. Yeah, and he's a 6-time Country Music Award winner and a 5-time Academy of Country Music Award winner. There's like 2 different ones, but he is a huge star in the Cincinnati area, and he's going to come watch his first ever wrestling show at Revolver.
He's our +1, and he also went on record to say that wrestlers weren't real athletes. If you just want to pass it around the locker room,
he
changed his mind. We can't get him.
Yeah, we convinced him otherwise.
I'm just saying.
That's funny. Introduce him to. We'll have him see what he says in front of like Macklin. Be like, Macklin, this dude said that.
He doesn't think you're a real athlete, Steve.
Yeah.
That's just
he's got a lot of energy and stuff though too. So he's not going to just be like sitting there like this. Like he'll be up there cheering with us and everything. So yeah, he's perfect guy to bring along.
And he's going to co-promote. I guarantee it. So he played our show on the show.
He's gonna love it, dude. After that, make sure you record like his immediate reaction to the show in general.
Yes.
You can't go to a Revolver show and not fucking have a good time unless there's something dead. Like you're just an awful person. Like you're gonna enjoy a Revolver show.
And that's the thing. He's on the morning radio show. So I mean, I would imagine he would be there the next morning. That's gonna kind of suck for him because he's got to be up at like 4:20 in the morning. But he'll probably talking about it on the show the next day. So
yeah. Also,
all right, well,
before we get out of here, hold on. I got one thing just because we talked about it earlier and they sent me the clip. Slavi talked about knocking out, what's his name? We got the clip here. Ways to die. So many other ways to die. Ways to die. So many dumb ways. I love it.
That's great.
Check out Slavi the Sloth. He's a good friend of ours.
Love that.
I'm gonna look out.
All right. Well, Tuss, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's it, boys. Looking forward to the next one.
Hell yeah, man. Check out Wrestling Revolver.
We gotta go a whole month without one.
I know, I'm kind of sad, but at least we got 3 shows in 1 month. So I complained to Sammy too, and he was like, "Bro, we fucking ran 3 shows in 1 month." I'm like, "You're right."
Well, maybe we'll do a preview show for finale. We'll do a preview and a rewind.
I like that.
We can't get too long without you, dude.
I know. I agree. We can do that. Yo, actually, my buddy that makes little logos, he just sent me another one. That's a little skateboard inspired one.
That's
Oh, God.
all like the little tech deck dudes.
Yeah.
Dude, we need an artist friend. I want friends that just send us random art. Like, hey, I just
Yo,
I
This
just drew
guy's
you as a
rendered
tech
you guys
deck
up in this. What do you
this
think?
guy's great. This guy's great. And so if you guys have any ideas, just let me know because I can
Let's have him on the
get
show.
that.
Fuck.
I get
You
the
Right
know,
now,
brother.
that's me, and I have a full-time job, and like my inspiration runs slow sometimes.
I'll make sure we get the brother rate from him because
brother.
he was doing it like all for fucking funsies, and I was like, dude, your shit's fucking awesome. Like, and then he was
Yeah.
sending me shit for free, and I was like, dude, stop. Like, let me fucking pay you for this
Let
shit.
me send you something.
Then he
Yeah.
then he quotes me like some like ridiculous, like he obviously doesn't know his fucking value. So I'm like, no. So I took that number and I doubled it and I said, fucking here, bro, just send me whatever, bro. Like, I want people like that. Like, it breaks my heart because that's shit that I went through, bro. It breaks my
Yeah.
heart to see fucking artists like that because he's awesome to not like know his value. So hopefully I'm instilling a little bit of that in him so that he can go on to the next person. Like, yo, fucking Tussle paid me this, so you gotta fucking pay me this too.
Yeah.
Show me the
that's
money,
right.
bitch.
Yeah, dude, he's worth it, man. He's great.
Hell yeah. Well, as always, we've been the dWo podcast plus Mr. TussleMania with another Revolver Rewind. I am Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is Wrestling T-shirt Guy Cephas, and he is the homie TussleMania.
And that dog loves him.
That's Enzo.
Hell yeah. So yeah, check us out. We'll be back sometime in November with a preview for season finale, and then we'll have another rewind after season finale. So you won't be too long without us.
Hell yeah.
But as always, check us out on all the socials at dWo_podcast, Facebook at the dWo podcast, Pro Wrestling Tees, T Public. Get that dad merch. We need to start doing some more designs, I think. I don't know. We haven't done it in a
Winter's
while.
coming. We have stuff to do.
Well, I'm going to try to get creative.
Christmas is coming.
I'm not the best with creative stuff. But anyway,
It's coming.
yeah, check us out on all that. Go check out TussleMania. He's got the best clips in the effing business. Go check out Pro Wrestling Revolver on all the socials. Go check them out on Fight TV. Go on their YouTube because guess what? They have free matches on there, and they're all awesome.
The best independent wrestling company in the world.
Yeah, that is absolutely accurate. So yeah, until next time, Top Dads out.